right, welcome to part 2, and we are doing number 2 from the right-hand side. I'm going to give you a second to look at number 2 and see if you can notice anything different about the equation from number 1. Alright, so the thing that I would say would be different, number 1, we have a negative sign, and number 2, our x and our y are on different sides of the equal sign. Notice in number 1, x and y were on the same side, so that kind of made all of the steps very similar no matter what value we were finding, whether we were finding x or y. With the x and y split, it's going to add a couple extra steps when we are finding the y value, but not to fear because we are experts at solving equations. So I don't want you to freak out by the equation looking different because we are going to go through it the same way we did the last one. Got my second color ready, and here we go. Our first value that we need to find is our x value, and we know our y value. So we know our y value is negative 20, and when our y value is negative 20, what is our x? So again, we're going to go through this the same way. We're going to substitute the known value in so we can find our unknown. We still have 8x equals negative 24 plus 2 times y, and remember y is negative 20. Now our steps are going to be to simplify and solve. So to simplify first, 8x stays put, negative 24 stays put, but we multiply this out, and 2 times negative 20 is negative 40. Combine like terms, 8x equals, they're both negative, so we add them and keep the negative sign. So negative 24 minus 40 would be negative 64. And then we're going to divide by 8 on both sides to finally find out that x is negative 8. 8 goes into 64 8 times, and it's a negative divided by a positive. So x is negative 8. I'm going to fill my chart in. Awesome. All right, our next unknown value is a y value, and we know that x is negative 7. So when x is negative 7, what is our y value? Let's find out. We have 8 times negative 7 equals negative 24 plus 2y. Simplify and solve. 8 times negative 7 would be negative 56 equals negative 24 plus 2y. There's nothing more we can simplify, so we can start solving. And to get 2y by itself, I'm going to add 24 to both sides. And when I add 24 to both sides, negative 56 plus 24, they are opposite signs, subtract the number, keep the sign of the larger. Our larger number is 56, so I know it's going to be negative. And 6 minus 4 is 2, 5 minus 2 is 3, 32 equals 2y. And one more step, divide by 2. And 2 goes into negative 32, negative 16 times. So when x is negative 7, y is negative 16. Feel free to pause this at any point or write it with me, rewatch it, and just follow along, or follow along the first time and then write it the next time. Whatever works best for you. Our next unknown is an x value, and we know that y is negative 12. So when y is negative 12, what could our x be? 8x equals negative 24 plus 2 times our y value, which is negative 12. Simplify and solve. 8x equals negative 24, and 2 times negative 12 would be negative 24. Combine like terms, we still have 8x equals negative 24 minus 24, which is really, take us all the way back to the beginning, negative 24 plus a negative 24. I'd encourage you, if you're still struggling with integer rules, continue to write out those subtraction problems. It's really helpful. Same sign, add the numbers, we get 48, and keep the sign, so it's negative 48. To find x, we're going to divide by 8 on both sides, and x equals negative 6. So when y is negative 12, x is negative 6. Alright, a couple more. Our x value is negative 5. What could our y value be? So when x is negative 5, what is y? We have 8 times our x value, which is negative 5, equals negative 24 plus 2y. Simplify and solve. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40, equals negative 24 plus 2y. It's simplified, so now we have to solve. We're moving 24 over, so we're adding. Opposite sign, subtract the number, keep the sign of the larger, so I know it's going to be a negative answer. Cancel that, or carry. 10 minus 4 is 6, 3 minus 2 is 1, negative 16 equals 2y. Well, what is y? We have to divide by 2, and negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8 equals y. So when x is negative 5, y is negative 8. We have one more to find. Maybe you can see the pattern. I'll give you a second to guess, and then I'm going to go through the math to see if we are right. Our y value is negative 4. And when y is negative 4, what in the world could our x be? Let's find out. 8x equals negative 24 plus 2 times y, and our y value is negative 4. Simplify and solve. We have 8x equals negative 24 minus 8. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Combine like terms, negative 24 minus 8, same sign, add the numbers, keep the sign, and we get negative 32. One step away, we are going to divide by 8 on both sides, and x equals negative 4. So when y is negative 4, x is also conveniently negative 4. I keep talking about the pattern. Let's talk about patterns real quick before we graph it. You can only rely on patterns if the x and the y are both moving at a constant rate. Not the same rate, but a constant rate. So from here to here, we added 1. From here to here, add 1. So that is consistent. We can only predict the next one if the bottom is also consistent. From negative 20 to negative 16, we add 4. From negative 16 to negative 12, we add 4. And from negative 12 to negative 8, we add 4. So every time our x value adds 1, our y value adds 4. So you can accurately predict the next one. Let's add 1 here, which would be negative 3, which means if we add 1 here, we add 4 here, and negative 4 plus 4 would be 0. So our next point would be that, and you could fill that table in infinitely many times, knowing the pattern of the numbers. So if you get the pattern after just a few simplifications, then just leave it at the 2 and continue the pattern. If you don't quite see the pattern yet, then try a couple more simplifications before you get there. Let's graph. Oh, that's my first graph. Let me fold my paper. Oh, that's crooked. Okay. My first point is -8, -20. So if I look over at the graph, I see that my x-axis is going by 1 and my y-axis is going by 4. So scale is really important. And if you look at our x values, they're going up by 1, our y values are going up by 4, so it makes sense to make the scale that way. My first point is -8, -20. So on the x-axis, my apologies, I'm going to go to the left, 8 values, and remember my scale is 1, so each line is 1. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8. Oh, shoot. Don't blot your point there. I got excited. And then I go down -20. So remember my y-axis is going by 4, so I'm going to go down 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And that's my point. I got overzealous on that point. I'm sorry. Our second point, -7, -16. So I'm going to go to the left and not plot a point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to go down 16 by 4. So 4, 8, 12, 16. Plot my point, and I'm going to label that. Third point, -6, -12. To the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 12, counting by 4s, 4, 8, 12. Fourth point, -5, -8. I'm going to go to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 8 by 4s, 4, 8. Fourth point, -4, -4. To the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, down 4, counting by 4, so 4. I'm going to plot this point that we found with the pattern just to show you that it goes right in line. So -3, 0, so I'm going to go to the left, 1, 2, 3, 0. And notice how all of my dots are in a row. If you have a dot that's like way out here like this, and all of your other dots line up, then there's something wrong with that point. Either you mixed up the x and y value, or you did what I did and didn't finish the point, or you did your math incorrect. But when we're graphing lines, all of the points should line up because it's a line. Remember to draw your line through the points with arrows on the end, and we are finished. All right, stay tuned for number 3.